Friars 1 win away from a return trip to the AA state title game. New Trier standing in their way. The Trevians 2-0 against Fenwick in the regular season. Today's winner plays for the state championship. Redbird Arena becomes a basketball laboratory today. Semifinal number 1, Fenwick takes on New Trier. Hello and welcome to Elite 8 March Madness. I'm Lee Hall. We are down to the final 4, and we say this is a lab because we're testing a theory here in game 1. The theory goes it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. Fenwick would like to believe that and prove it here today. They lost to the Trevians of New Trier twice in the regular season. For the call of today's first semifinal, let's go to Scott Slocum and Bernie Chero.
Thank you, Lee. It is semifinal Saturday and a day of revenge for Fenwick here on the campus of Illinois State University. New Trier Bernie Chero has already beaten them twice, once in Abington, once in the Sweet 16, but today is the day that matters.
Today matters because of the fact you're going to go to the state tournament final game. Many coaches will say that this is a new season. Not these two coaches. One coach wants the same result. The other coach went back to the drawing board and has come up with some different ideas on how to beat this team, New Trier. Okay,
we'll see that shortly. First, let's take a look at the road to Bloomington Normal and how these two teams got here. Of course, in the super sectional, New Trier took out Whitney Young by a big margin, and yesterday had no trouble at all, at least in the second half, with Edwardsville. Edwardsville played well for the first 16 minutes. As far as Fenwick is concerned, Nazareth, Trinity, Harlan, and then yesterday a very easy time against Jacobs from Algonquin, who was making their first ever appearance in the Elite 8. Now, normally, Bernie, when we get to this point, we talk about experience, we talk about senior leadership. Our key players today are both freshmen.
It will be the battle of the pups, I think. When we look at these girls, we're going to take a look, first of all, at our key player from New Trier. These are her stats from yesterday on Friday, but today we need to look for a double-double. She did have 12 points yesterday, 3 rebounds. She's going to really need to board. She has the strength, the size, and the experience. When we take a look at Fenwick, we're going to take a look at Samantha Woods. She's definitely the type of player that can put up the points, put up the board, but I think the key for her game will be her defense. She will have to be able to defend against New Trier's inside game. Okay, the old saying applies today. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, and that's your first key for New Trier, right? I really think that 3 times will be the key. Can they do it? We actually take a look at the fact that they've beaten them twice, but Fenwick has other plans. The inside game, they have 2 players, 6'4", 6'3". They score 20 points plus every game. Now, the defensive surprise. New Trier is not ready for this. They haven't seen it. Can they adjust to Fenwick and the defense that we saw yesterday? As far as Fenwick is concerned, it's get up and get after it. That's their key. When we take a look at Fenwick, you're going to look at a run-and-gun type game. They ran the floor yesterday. They did a great job. They're going to show us a half-court defense that has a trapping zone out of any formation. New Trier has not seen that yet. With that trapping zone out of any formation, you're going to have to look at how they defend the paint. If they do not rotate and work on the weak side out of that trap, there will be some problems. They have to defend the paint. Fenwick looks to get back to the title game, and they look for revenge on New Trier. We'll have the starting lineups in the opening tip-off after this local timeout.
We're here at Redbird Arena on the campus of Illinois State University for the most exciting day of the year in Illinois girls basketball. It is the state semifinals. It's Oak Park Fenwick at 33-3 against 30-6 New Trier. Should be a great ball game. Of course, Dave Power in his 12th year as head coach of Fenwick. Terry Rogers in her 7th year as head coach of New Trier. Let's take a look where these two schools have, well, they've made tricks to get here, if you will. Oak Park, of course, on the west side of Chicago. Not a bad trip down I-55 for them. A little windy for their fans yesterday to normal. And, of course, Winnetka up on the North Shore. New Trier High School, very successful in many different sports. And we'll have more on that as we go along throughout the course of the day. Probably the most successful sports program in the state of Illinois. For today's starting lineups, let's head to the public address announcer and Mr. Jeff Fritzen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise. Before our soloist sings our national anthem, we ask that you remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with this moment of silence. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to join our guest soloist, Emma Schmelzer, a student at Bloomington High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for the semifinal game of America's original March Madness for Class AA girls basketball. First from New Trier, number 3, a 5'8" senior, Celia Franklin. For Fenwick, number 4, a 6'1" sophomore, Maggie Cloak. For New Trier, number 10, a 5'8" senior, Maddie Johnson. For Fenwick, number 5, a 5'6" senior, Kristen Heidloff. For New Trier, number 22, a 6'3" junior, Catherine Dykstra. For Fenwick, number 11, a 5'8" junior, Brittany Johnson. For New Trier, number 32, a 5'10" junior, Deirdre Naughton. For Fenwick, number 12, a 5'11" freshman, Allison Jackson. For New Trier, number 42, a 6'4" freshman, Amy Jasky. And for Fenwick, number 44, a 6'3" freshman, Samantha Woods. New Trier brings a record of 30-6 into today's game. They are coached by Terry Rogers in her 7th year with a career record of 177 wins and 59 losses. Fenwick brings a 33-3 record into today's game. They're coached by Dave Power in his 12th year with a record of 282 wins and 89 losses. Your officials.
All right, let's take a closer look at those starting lineups. And the starting lineups are littered with freshmen. Jaski for New Trier, of course. Jackson and Woods for Fenwick. Bernie, you've been here 3 times, 95, 96, 97. Take us inside the huddles right now. Nervousness, anxiousness, anticipation, confidence, what?
All of the above. Both coaches know that the first 2 minutes will be critical in this game because tempo wants to be set by both teams. I also find it interesting how both coaches, you know, they congratulate each other, wish each other good luck prior to the game. You say one thing, you're thinking another. Both coaches want to win. Both coaches want to make it to the final game tonight.
Fenwick made it to the final game last year, losing to Naperville Central. They want to get back. As far as New Trier is concerned, they want to take out the Friars for a 3rd time. Bernie, it is an old cliche. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Does anybody else think about that other than the media?
I don't think they do. Coach Powers really made it a statement to me yesterday when he said, we have a totally new game plan. We're going with what gave us 2 losses to make some changes to see if we can change that to a win.
Dykstra wins the tip, and New Trier has the basketball in their blue uniforms. Fenwick, the home silver uniforms today. They will get out and put pressure. We saw them destroy Jacobs with pressure yesterday. First turnover of the ball game is Deirdre Naughton threw it over the head of the post player, and Fenwick will take over.
An excellent job by Maggie Cloak being able to rotate behind and defend that post position.
New Trier will pick up half court. Johnson will draw Heidloff today. Very tough matchup for anyone in the state. Kristen Heidloff makes them go. Cloak just inside the arc. Off the back of the rim. And Woods tries to save it and does, but to Naughton. New Trier comes back the other way. A turnover by New Trier, a missed shot by Fenwick. And the Trevians have it. There's their top shooter, Naughton, and she comes up empty.
So we're taking a look. We see both teams a little shaky.
Let's take a look at these 2 cities. 2 very different parts of Chicagoland. Fenwick and Oak Park on the west side, and New Trier on the north shore, both in Cook County. Look at the enrollment of New Trier, up to 3,800 students. Central Suburban against East Suburban. Boy, the East Suburban had an incredible year in girls basketball. Heidloff and Jackson work it left side. Jackson delivers to Woods. She almost threw it away. In fact, the ball's out of bounds. Fenwick will keep it. Now look at the run this man has had. Talk about making history. That's something to be said right there. A lot of wins, and with the youth on this team, I don't necessarily think I'll sit here and say I don't think he'll get to 30 next year.
Both teams with very young talent growing up throughout the weekend. We're seeing some excellent defense in the first 2 minutes of the game.
And I think some nerves too, right, Bernie?
I would think offensively, absolutely.
Samantha Woods, the freshman, misfires. Offensive putback, no good, and Johnson controls for New Trier. Both teams like to push it. New Trier with their twin towers. They just call them the twins. They don't like the word tower, so we'll just go with twins with Dykstra and Jaski. And there's a turnover. Tried to get it to Dykstra. Heidloff stepped in front.
The defense caused that by trapping down at the baseline.
Heidloff a miss and another rebound for Maddie Johnson, the 5'8" senior, doing a nice job on the boards. Nothing as far as offense is concerned, more than 2 minutes into the game. Jaski, nice catch, can't finish. And Woods has the rebound. Back the other way, the Friars. Nice feed.
Fenwick running gun.
And a misfire by Maggie Cloak. That does not happen very often. Maggie Cloak is a very good shooter at 47% from the field.
Both teams still looking for their first basket.
It is defense, isn't it? They are getting after it. Dykstra finds Naughton. And a matchup we're going to watch today is Brittany Johnson from Fenwick on Deirdre Naughton of New Trier. Jaski not able to knock down her second attempt. The rebound to Fenwick. Still no score, nearly 3 minutes into the game. And Johnson steps in front of a Jackson pass. And we're going to get a jump ball as Kristen Heidloff. She's everywhere.
That was really a great call. 2 hands on the loose ball by both teams. Three minutes into the game, still no score.
And each team has had a couple of good looks, or at least New Trier's had 2 good looks. And, of course, Cloak missed the layup in transition. Johnson sets the offense. Unloads Cloak, back to Jackson. She traveled with it.
That was a great idea. Actually, you know, Maggie Cloak knew better than to take herself into the post position.
This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicago, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today. Folks, that's not a typo. No, the folks in the truck aren't asleep. That is exactly correct. New Trier and Fenwick are scoreless more than 3 minutes into this game.
I would be willing to say that the first team, I'm going out on a limb here, the first team that scores will then go on a run.
Okay.
Because we're going to look for just kind of breaking that momentum, offensive momentum that both teams are struggling to find right now.
Well, it's not like either team has gotten a lot of shots. 4 shots for New Trier, 2 shots for Fenwick.
And there aren't that many turnovers either.
Each team taking their time, and actually each team playing good defense, forcing the other team to be patient. Tough man-to-man, that's what Fenwick prides itself on. They had that tough feeling last year when Aaron Lawless was with them this year, but this year there's a lot of skill, a lot of quick players, and there's the first bucket.
Okay, now Deirdre Naughton came out of a very solid screen.
Actually, Coach Rogers probably liked that timeout, gave her a chance to set up a play coming out of that timeout.
Well, Fenwick will have to defend better out of screens.
Woods ties the game.
Now that was a freshman taking the shot that needed to be taken. Again, maturity level has changed throughout the tournament.
And that's what she did in the Super against Chicago Harlan. 10 points, all on rise-up 14 to 15-foot jumpers. So we have an offensive explosion here. Each team with a bucket. Johnson, nice strong move into the lane, and she'll shoot 2.
Both defensively, Kristen Heidloff and Brittany Johnson playing very aggressive at the guard position.
First, you see New Trier red hot, as you expect this time of year. Winners of 14 of the last 15. The last loss, 1-point defeat to Glenbrook South. A lot of people were surprised, Bernie, that Glenbrook South did not make it down here.
Did you notice the score?
Yes.
34-35, low-scoring game, which is what we have right now. Strong defensive game by both teams. Now we're going to see Powers make some switching here. He has a bench. He goes 9-10 deep, trying to look for some type of momentum or something to get the offense to click.
And Devereaux Peters, Tracy Pollock, and Aaron Power will check in. Cloak, Jackson, and Brittany Johnson, they sit down. There's the red-hot Fenwick mark, 21 of the last 22. Johnson makes one, misses one. 1-point New Trier lead. 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Wood's going to get called for traveling. Made a nice move, but shuffled the feet.
Very common for a young player. She wasn't sure if she wanted to shoot it or then make her attempt to the basket.
Have you seen many freshmen able to make moves like that and get shots off? She's truly talented. There's a turnover. It's the Fenwick Heat that destroyed Jacobs yesterday, and I was waiting to see it today. And
well, I'm not sure if people are realizing how many different defenses we've already seen. They actually change and switch their defense on the fly, coming down. Sometimes it ends up being a combination because people don't know what they're actually doing, including some of the players. But their floor leader, Kristen Heidloff, usually directs the defensive switches.
Power has it poked out of her hands. It'll stay Fenwick basketball. New player in the ball game for New Trier, Jenny Samuelson, very sharp shooting freshman. A couple of threes yesterday in that victory over Edwardsville. Heidloff asked for Peters for a screen, now rises up for 3. She's missed her first two. This will be out of bounds on Woods and will be New Trier basketball. And I look what a point guard means to a team. Kristen Heidloff, 135 wins over her 4 years. Johnson, nice feed to Naughton. New Trier up by 3. Heidloff in the corner to Power. She's short on a 3, and Maddie Johnson has another rebound, her third. Not able to finish. Peters can't hang on. It'll stay to New Trier.
Devereaux Peters coming from nowhere trying to get that rebound.
Well, there you go. One of the 6 losses by New Trier this year was to Warsaw, Indiana. No shame in that. They're playing for a state championship across the border today. Naughton out of the inbounds, not able to knock it down, and Devereaux Peters has it. Pollock will fire from the baseline and miss. Jaski controls. Now,
Yep.
Bernie, you talked to Coach Power yesterday. Tell us about the changes he was going to make.
Well, his changes were on the defensive end, where the first time they played, they tried to go a straight man matchup. They're not doing that now. This is their first transition. This is how they scored yesterday.
And Pollock has it blocked.
And today they're really struggling with their half-court offense. They are a better team scoring out of transition and a better team scoring with the defense. But you'll actually see the steal with the pass.
Fans from Fenwick wanted contact. Marissa Akeson with what the officials deemed a clean block. Only 2 points for Fenwick. 6 minutes into the game. Jackson back in for the Friars. She has the offensive rebound and the putback.
Perfect position for Allison Jackson to rebound that ball and put it up strong. Now we're seeing a different look on the press. This is more like a run and jump situation.
Bernie, we have 4 freshmen on the floor, 3 for Fenwick, 1 for New Trier. Here's Samuelson. She is one of those freshmen, and she gets bumped out of bounds by another freshman, Jackson. Is this a freshman game, a JV game, or a varsity game?
It is by no means a freshman or a JV game. They are playing for the state tournament, and they are playing in that way.
And look what the Fab 5 freshmen have done. Coach Power may want to make reservations for about the next 3 years down here. He leaves the hotel tonight. Samuelson can shoot it, but Jackson isn't going to give her much room. Jaski tried to hit Naughton on the backdoor cut, can't handle it out of bounds.
Great defense, great defense.
These fans waiting to explode, waiting for some offense. But those of us who like defense appreciate a game like this. Power, baseline to Wood, blocked by Jaski.
Freshman blocking a freshman.
And Naughton will head to the free throw line as Devereaux Peters knocks her to the ground. Boy, she is tough. Deirdre Naughton, 5'10" junior.
Leading scorer for New Trier.
Yep. Averaging around 16 points a game. A little under 4 rebounds a ball game.
Very nice free throw form.
And Naughton, as you would expect, I mean, you always need big performances out of your big players in these games, and they have to step up. Knocks them both down, and we have seen some good free throw shooting. Dykstra comes back into the ball game, and Jaski will sit down, gets a little bit of a blow. You know what I'm amazed about is how these 2 twins, if you will, from New Trier get up and down the floor and are in very good shape.
Again, this being a college floor, we've talked about that. Both of these teams have played on college floors before, so they're familiar with it.
Maggie Cloak back in, and she comes up short. Back the other way, the Trevians. Naughton to Samuelson. Here's Celia Franklin. Almost lost it. Naughton back to Franklin, having trouble. That's because of pressure. And another foul. And if this is on Devereaux Peters, it will be her second.
And I think that will be critical because with her size, she's 6'2", they need her size inside.
It is on Peters.
They had great rotation from the weak side coming across, leaving that weak side open.
First free throw for Dykstra is good. Peters will sit down, and Samantha Woods will come back. You know, Bernie, after watching yesterday's game, it was so impressive, Fenwick over Jacobs, and New Trier struggled at least for a half with Edwardsville. You know, some people were saying, how did they beat them twice? But we're seeing how today by controlling tempo and getting the ball inside.
Well, I had asked Coach Powers, how did that happen? And he said their inside game is very difficult to defend, and he was really hoping that he would come up with some ideas defensively that will allow the changes to be made.
Another missed shot, offensive putback, not good. Cloak will try. She can't get it to go, and that's it. Frustrating first quarter for Fenwick, as they only are able to muster 4 points. Take a look at some of the neat things here in the Bloomington Normal area. We'll return with second quarter action after this local break. Super Saturday this is shaping up to be. Fenwick and New Trier. Close game after one quarter. Naperville Central and Marion Catholic. Couldn't ask for 2 better semifinal games, Bernie.
The games this morning are beyond exceptional. You know, we're seeing such tremendous defense. I think it's important for Fenwick right now to get their defense going so that they can score out of their defense. That's what they've been able to do all year. I'm sure that Coach Powers has instilled that in them right now. Start to play some aggressive defense. Anticipate on what's happening when the ball is up. Anticipate.
Fenwick's going to put a little pressure on. Almost forced a turnover. Jaski not able to finish. She's 0 for 3 from the field. All point blank looks.
Allison Jackson just leaped into the air for that rebound.
Probably the most athletic girl out here, Allison Jackson. Nice take on the baseline.
Job. Brittany Johnson, another athletic junior.
You know, she kind of gets
Fenwick.
lost in the shuffle when you talk about the freshman in Heidloff, but Brittany Johnson is so consistent.
She does, and she plays defense. I love the way she plays defense.
Jaski misses another shot. New Trier will keep it, though. But Jaski comes in averaging 10.6. Very good shooter. But today, coming up just a little bit short on her efforts. Then again, she has a 6'3" girl staring right at her. Not too many times this year she had to deal with that. Dykstra. Move to the left. And this will be Fenwick ball.
And you just mentioned not being, you know, comfortable or not being used to having someone defend you like that. She hesitated with that shot. Just do a solid pump fake and go to the glass.
Coming up a little bit later on the Country Insurance 3-point showdown, and then the second of our semifinal matchups, Naperville Central and Marion Catholic. Heidloff. And Woods will give Fenwick another shot, and she's fouled.
Kristen Heidloff really has to start scoring. She averages 16 points a game. She has yet to score.
And the only baskets for Fenwick, Johnson, Jackson, and Woods.
First team foul.
Then again for New Trier, Johnson has a point, Dykstra has a point, Naughton has 6. Heidloff, good quick move on the baseline.
Big rebound there, big rebound. Maggie putting herself in a position to board, but was caught underneath the net, able to maneuver to put it back up on the glass. Here's the run and jump.
We're tied at 8, minute and a half into the second quarter.
Here's the run and jump.
Naughton looked like maybe she got fouled, no call, but then Franklin steals the outlet pass. She misses everything, and Fenwick will have it again.
Celia Franklin showing a little bit of athleticism herself. New Trier putting on some pressure.
Jackson will set up the offense. There's Cloak. Not afraid to take that shot from the top of the key. Woods with the left hand.
What a drive. Nice solid steps to the basket.
She's not left-handed, Bernie. She's got an incredible left.
An incredible is right. She also put herself in a great position because she gave a really nice solid head fake to the right. Took that entire lane.
Country Insurance and Financial Services.
Samantha Woods, a 6'3" freshman, gives Fenwick the lead 10-8 over New Trier. Well, let's take a look at what's coming up next week here on the IHSA television network. I love the month of March. I know everyone says Christmas is wonderful and so on and so forth in December, but March is my favorite time of the year. And of course, tonight we have for you a couple of more big ball games. The consolation game, the 3rd and 4th place game here at Redbird Arena. And then we will crown a state champion who will walk home with the big trophy. Last year it was Naperville Central. I can't wait until tonight. This is great. I'm just going to sit right here all day and enjoy it.
It's a great atmosphere for basketball. We have 4 phenomenal teams in the Final Four. I don't think there'll be one bad team. Take a look at the common opponents. And you know, there aren't a whole lot of secrets when you play somebody so many times, and that's why as a coach you want to sit down and try and come up with that magic answer, that resolve that you could, you know, change the outcome of the game.
And there's a lone Friar fan running around. You've been at the assembly hall, you see the big orange eye. Well, that was a decent attempt at trying to match that. And, you know, girls basketball, Bernie, you know it. You've been a coach for a long time. It's such a tight-knit community. There's really nothing you don't know about your opposition.
Well, it's very, and same thing for the girls. When they play against each other, they know, you know, what their tendencies are. They know what their strengths, their weaknesses are.
And again, one of the twins misfiring for New Trier, and Fenwick will take it. Now, Dykstra and Jaski are both getting a little frustrated. Dykstra turned around to Naughton and said, I got fouled. The officials are letting them be physical on the inside. That benefits Fenwick.
Nice pass inside. I knew as soon as she let that pass go, and I'll tell you why. Actually, what we saw was the ability of Samantha Wood to seal the defender and go up strong to the glass.
Last time down, she used her left on a floating hook. This time, a strong power move with her right. Johnson, nice pass to Dykstra.
Nice pass to that weak side. Defense came up with the rotation, but they did not drop down from the guard position.
You talk about Samantha Woods, didn't start playing basketball until she was in between her 5th and 6th grade years. She also, another one of those who's been getting a lot of attention from colleges. And Jackson turned it over, got it back, and then Polk is fouled.
Big foul here. Very frustrated, standing as tall as she can, which is tall.
That's the first foul on Jaski, and that is good news. Take a look at Jaski and Dykstra. You need to have them on the floor if you're a New Trier fan. They have 1 foul between them so far, so they're in good shape. Conversely, you look at Fenwick, and Devereaux Peters is on the bench with 2 fouls. But Woods does not have any, so it's about a push as far as foul trouble is concerned. Cloak extends the lead to 4, and we have a timeout. It's 14-10 in favor of Fenwick with 4:53 left to play in the first half. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Abt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Abt in Glenview.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. 14-10. Fenwick fans are fired up. Here's the guy that made the mad dash around the top deck. You got in trouble, didn't you?
I'm willing for Fenwick.
He's been restricted to this area now, so we won't be seeing any more of that. Who are we saying hi to earlier?
Maggie Cloak, number 4, baby.
This is better than any rock concert I've ever been to. Back to you guys. I'm going to go crowd surfing now.
Thank you, Lee. And there's Jaski with her first bucket. She needed to get on track. That brings New Trier within 2. 4:30 left to play in the first half. We're at Redbird Arena, state semifinals. New Trier and Fenwick. Third meeting of the year. New Trier won in the Sweet 16. They won at Abington. Maggie Cloak not able to knock it down, and it's saved to New Trier. Maddie Johnson, good hustle.
Great defense. Great defense.
Jump ball, and Fenwick will keep it.
Brittany Johnson, Kristen Heidloff putting them in a trapping position to get the jump ball call.
Jackson finally gets the ball in the corner to Cloak. And they step in front of Heidloff and a steal. Well, I tell you, Maddie Johnson has been everywhere in this first half. You need to have people that are willing to roll up their sleeves, Bernie, and do the dirty work.
Yes, both teams. We're seeing that. Both teams, both ends.
Maddie, nice feed to Dykstra, and she's fouled.
I'm really impressed with how New Trier right now read the run and jump. We had a cutter offensively from the weak side, and they were able to force the ball inside.
As you can tell by the team comparisons, New Trier doesn't mind playing at a slower pace like this, averaging nearly 8 points a game fewer than Fenwick.
Coach Powers yelling to his team to run 43 out here. That's what his next offensive set is and what he's calling. So we'll see what 43 actually will be.
Dykstra, the young lady you're looking at, was the state champion in discus last year. Her dad was the Big Ten discus champ at the University of Illinois. Makes 1 of 2. New Trier back within 1. Jackson penetrates to the basket and gets called for traveling.
She's had that call a couple of times throughout the tournament, and she is frustrated because she feels very comfortable making that move, but she just drags that pivot foot just a little bit too much.
That's okay in pickup games.
Quick.
Yep, but out here, you are going to get called for
But
it.
now she's a freshman. We don't want to keep talking about that, but in the next year or two, she's going to be in a great position to be able to do that without any hesitation.
Well, Franklin has her shot blocked, then pokes the ball out of bounds, and Fenwick will take over. Johnson will bring it up.
Again, they're calling for 43. I'm not sure we saw it last time.
I don't want to try to get Woods a shot. She hasn't touched him in the offensive set for a while.
Nice
Instead, go to Cloak. Blocked by Dykstra, but she got part of the arm.
Cloak came out of a screen for Brittany Johnson, and as Brittany Johnson releases the ball, you'll actually see
Maggie Cloak at the line, shooting.
Maggie Cloak puts herself in a position for a weak side backdoor cut.
Yeah, I think Woods drew all the attention, and Cloak cut backdoor. Maggie Cloak misses the first one. Well, unlike both of these two teams, missing short shots, missing free throws.
Right there, she puts herself in a position for a nice backdoor cut out of the screen.
And Cloak makes 1 of 2. The lead is back to 2 with a little over 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. And some half-court pressure by Fenwick now. See, they trap out of it. Yes, they do. Johnson, high post to Naughton, turns and fires. Deirdre Naughton with a big 3. Was that a 2? I guess they said her foot was on the line. Naughton just on the line, ties the game at 15. Heidloff still looking for her first points of the game, believe it or not. Johnson runs in on Dykstra, bumped out of the way. New Trier. And Heidloff pokes it away from behind.
Heidloff, boy, she's a trackster. She runs the relay. She's been down here at state tournament with the relay team.
Franklin to inbounds. And Cloak pokes away the entry pass.
Celia Franklin giving too much of what we call a telegraph with her eyes, letting everybody know where she's passing the ball.
These two teams both struggling from the field. You can credit the defense for that for the most part. Franklin.
Nice move.
Another miss, and we're going to get Jaski for a foul. Okay, Jaski has just picked up her second foul. Boy, one of the things that amazes me is the maturity of these freshmen. Look, she's frustrated.
Well, as a freshman, I think she needs to come out of the game right now. Just to give her the opportunity to sit down, you know, just talk about your positioning. If you don't have position, then don't fight that hard to get position, because they will call the foul because of your size.
You know, we can see physically she's mature, but mentally she is as well. You never see that face change. When she sat down, you saw that look. That's the look, even after she makes an incredible play. These girls are mature beyond their years. Another one of the freshmen. Woods misfiring, and the rebound comes down to Franklin. We're tied with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Who will make a run? Deirdre Naughton.
One of the things that New Trier will be doing, it seems, the last 2 or 3 possessions, running cutters down the middle of the floor and then coming from the weak side or coming from strong side to get open on the baseline. That's how you break that trapping pressure, when you run cutters from the middle or from the weak side.
Naughton picks up the foul. That'll be the 5th on New Trier. Fenwick also has 5 fouls, so neither team yet in the bonus. Samuelson back in for New Trier, and Devereaux Peters comes back in. Interesting, Bernie, with 1:37 left, she has 2 fouls. They bring her back into the game.
Well, I think they have to because of the last 2 possessions. New Trier looking to solve the puzzle.
The inbound pass hit the back of the rim from Powers. Heidloff comes up with it and scores.
Big basket. It's her first one. She's the leading scorer for this team, usually averaging 16 points a game.
That has to be the longest she's ever gone without a basket to start a game.
I would think.
Samuelson in trouble in the trap pocket, and Johnson bails her out. A 3 try. It's good.
And again, what did they do? They went to the weak side of the defensive trap to allow that baseline to be open.
First basket for Marissa Akeson. And there's a block on the inside. We have a whistle and a foul, and they're going to get Cloak.
New Trier able to solve the defensive puzzle, I think, at this point. They're finding open shots. They're running open cutters. The trap is being set, you know, very aggressively, but they're finding the open player.
Here are the 2 meetings between these 2 teams. New Trier with a 7-point win just after Christmas, and a little over a month later, an 8-point victory. Not in the key in both of them, as she has been in most of the games New Trier's played this year. And we're going to get Fenwick basketball, a turnover, as Dykstra had it, but she was on the sideline. 19-17, just under a minute to play here in the first half of the first of our 2 semifinal games. Coming up next, Naperville Central and Marion Catholic. Both teams survived scares last night. Naperville Central from Peoria Richwoods, and Grayslake played tough. There's an air ball. And a foul on Peters, her 3rd.
Well, I'm not so sure when you come in the first half with 2 fouls that you want to go after a loose ball like that or put yourself in a position to grab a ball, to force a jump ball. But experience will be the teacher there.
Deirdre Naughton will shoot 1 in bonus, as that is the 7th foul against Fenwick. Woods will sit, rather, Devereaux Peters will sit down. It's Megan Mulhern into the game now. First one is good. Where are you starting to get a feel either way? You mentioned it a little bit. New Trier offensively seems to have a beat on what they're doing.
I really feel that New Trier really does have the puzzle solved.
Still only a 3-point lead, and Fenwick can cut into that here with a possession to end the first half.
And what I mean by the puzzle being solved, they know how to attack the defense. Now, whether they score every time they attack is another story, but I do think they know what to do against their Fenwick's defense.
Brittany Johnson will take the freshman to the baseline. Feeds power, blocked by Dykstra. And Heidloff stumbles to the floor. They will not even get a shot off. A big block from Catherine Dykstra.
A momentum, movement, taking them into the locker room.
Absolutely a big defensive play, and it's fitting. Defense was so very dominant in that first half. And that a defensive stop like that ended the first half. Catherine Dykstra, the 6'3" junior, the state discus champion, comes up with a big defensive play. Allison standing by with the head coach of New Trier. Allison.
Hi, Coach. Even though you're up by 3 at the half, this has been a very low-scoring game for you offensively. What are you going to change differently or try to execute differently?
Basically, it's been a great defensive battle on both parts. Both teams play great defense, and it's just a matter of who's going to be able to come up with some big shots at big times and who can make some big stops at big times. And so it's a great game. Two great teams playing, and we'll see who can come out on top.
Having beaten this team twice before this season, what was your strategy going into today's game?
We just want to play fundamentally good basketball. They've got 5 great players that can all score, and you got to respect every single one. Obviously, you've got Heidloff, who leads the troops, but so obviously we want to pay special attention to her. Just basic fundamental basketball. You got to play solid defense, and they play defense. You got to move the ball around and hopefully to get a good shot. So.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck in the second half. Congratulations. All right, Scott. Well, there you go. Here you have it. We'll see what happens in the second half with the team.
We are at halftime. New Trier leading Fenwick in the state semifinals 20-17. We'll return with halftime festivities after this network timeout.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. We're at halftime. New Trier with a 20-17 lead over Fenwick. Are you guys excited about that?
Definitely.
You're supposed to cheer. Woo! A small but vocal group here from New Trier. Tell me what you guys, do you do some training in the off season, go to camps, that kind of thing? Cheerleading's kind of a full-time job, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. We cheer all summer in August. A lot of hard work, and then all year, 4 days a week practice, and then every week we have a game.
What makes a good cheerleader?
A lot of pep and a lot of spirit and a big smile.
And not caring what the other team says when we go out.
Yeah.
Not hearing what they say? Yeah, the fans down here are kind of brutal. The New Trier fans and the Fenwick fans going after each other a little bit in the stand.
Yeah, but our team supports us a lot, and we love it. Yeah. We have a lot of love.
We got the backup of the 6th man, so.
What's the toughest thing about being a cheerleader? You're back here in the back row. Come on. Don't hide from me. What's the toughest thing about being a cheerleader?
I guess there's just a lot of things we have to do, a lot of games every week, and
it's a lot of work. Takes up a lot of time, a lot of stretching. Give us a little New Trier Trevians cheer. Oh, they're discussing their strategy here.
Our team is hot. Our team is HOT. Our team is hot. Our team is HOT. Our team is hot.
Well, of course they're hot. They've been running around all first half. Hey, way to go, girls. Going for 3 straight here. All right, now let's check in with the Fenwick Friars cheerleaders. Whoa, strength in numbers. Oh, the Naperville Central. You guys are next game, Naperville Central. I'll be there in a minute. Hey, tell me on at Fenwick this week. You guys are kind of used to coming down here.
Yeah, definitely used to coming down there. We've just been preparing to cheer down here, and it's nothing new for us, but we're really excited to be here as always.
Tell me about what's been going on this week. What kind of things, pep rallies, anything like that?
Actually, we haven't had any pep rallies, but we have had practice every single day. We practice all the time, support for our team all the time. So, I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too. So.
Down 3 here to a team that's beat you twice. What's going to happen here second half? Who?
Kristen Heidloff said it best. She said it's hard to beat a good team 3 times, so we'll see. So.
All right, let's hear it from you now, Fenwick Friars. Fenwick Friars cheer to go to break here.
Our
Fenwick down 3 here at the half. Back at Redbird Arena after this local break.
We're back here in Bloomington Normal on the campus of Illinois State University. Watterson Towers in the background. We're inside of Redbird Arena for state semifinal number 1 between New Trier and Fenwick, and New Trier with a 20-17 lead. Welcome back. I'm Scott Slocum along with Bernie Jarrow. And Bernie, an incredible first half defensively. Some nerves early, but I really think the defense is dominating.
Defense has definitely set the tempo of the game, but I really do feel that New Trier is finding some answers for the defense. But looking at New Trier's defense, they're not allowing very many shots or second opportunity shots, so the game can go to anyone at this point.
Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. Field goals, 7 for 20 yesterday against Edwardsville. New Trier had 27 shots in the first half. Fenwick against Jacobs had 33, so you see fewer opportunities today.
Yes, and you know, we talked quite a bit about yesterday in terms of how the defense actually made the offense happen. That's not happening today.
Points in the paint, Fenwick, that's where they like to make their living. A lot of those offensive second chance points, if you will, as you can see there with 4 of the 10. So
Fenwick doing a great job rebounding the ball, boxing out, and not allowing New Trier to have those second opportunities.
Okay, second half, they're in the locker room talking right now. Probably the same thing, execution and defense, right?
Well, from Fenwick's perspective, I think he wants to see some more points on the board. He has not seen the run and gun game that he knows will get them to the game tonight. So I'm sure Coach Powers is talking about you have to have transition out on the floor. From New Trier's side, I would think put yourself in a position to read what defense is coming up on you and then reverse the ball and keep scoring the way you have.
New Trier leads 20-17. We'll return with second half action after this local timeout.
We are back and it's halftime. Fenwick is down by 3. I'm here with Fenwick coach David Power. And David, having lost to New Trier twice before this season, what did you want to execute differently in today's game?
Well, from a defensive point of view, we wanted to try to hold them down a bit, and I felt we accomplished that, but we just haven't been able to knock the ball in the basket. Our shooting's been a little off, and credit New Trier's good defense, too. It's been a great defensive struggle. I'm happy to just be within 3. I think we can play a little bit better second half.
What were you most happy with your team's performance in the first half?
Defending the down-low girls. Of course, that freed up Deirdre Naughton. She had a nice first half, but something's got to give. But hopefully we can get our offense going. I really think that's our main concern right now.
All right, well, congratulations. Good luck in the second half. All right, Scott, back to you.
Thank you very much. And they did. The two big girls for New Trier combined for 6 points is all. Let's take a look at some of the big plays in the first half.
Again, you take a look at what we're looking inside and Powers is just being able to drive to the basket.
Samantha Woods, of course, having a nice first half with a couple of big buckets. She started strong.
This actually was Kristen Heidloff's first basket. She's going to have to really score more in this second half.
And her only basket. And Jaski gets off the snide as well. She missed her first 3 shots, came back with a big bucket there in the second quarter. We are at halftime. New Trier, a 3-point lead. We'll return with second half action after this network break. We're set to go, and your key players early were freshman post players and junior post players, inside players. So far, Woods and Peters, 6 points, 5 rebounds for Fenwick. Jaski and Dykstra, 6 points, 2 rebounds for New Trier.
Well, you know, we take a look at so much regarding the New Trier situation, but both teams are in a great position right now.
3-point shootout coming up at 12:30 today. O'Fallon against Kayla Ming. She shot it well last night. Not enough for Grayslake to beat Marion Catholic, but what a talent she is. Christy Johnson from Elmhurst York will be here along with Tara Michaels from Dixon. Country Insurance 3-point shootout coming up a little bit later on today. It's got the long-range bombs. Hopefully they do better than the NBA players did in the NBA All-Star 3-point shootout. I think these girls will. Right off the bat, New Trier tries to pound it inside. I think we saw what Coach Rogers talked about at halftime.
Well, again, regarding New Trier, where was the open player? Down at the baseline. So they're finding the spot to put the open player. Now they have to actually get the ball in the basket.
Both teams with their original starting 5s out there.
Open player.
Maddie Johnson comes up short, and Brittany Johnson will shield Jaski out of the way. So it's Cloak, Heidloff, Johnson, Jackson, and Woods for Fenwick, Franklin, Johnson, Dykstra, Naughton, and Jaski for New Trier. Here are your scoring leaders. Naughton, as she has done all year, leading the Trevians with 11, and the freshman Woods has 6.
Kristen Heidloff will really have to start putting herself in a position to be able to score.
1 basket in that first half for Kristen on 1 of 4 shooting. Needs to get more shot attempts too. Cloak misfires over Dykstra. Naughton, strong move, but does not finish, and Samantha Woods with the rebound.
Fenwick looking for some transition here.
Heidloff, I don't think she tried to bank that one. Maddie Johnson so solid in that first half, throws this one away.
Really not a bad idea by Maddie Johnson. Drawing the defender and then releasing the ball. 2
points, an assist, and 2 rebounds. And a couple of steals in there as well. This half starting off like the first half. No points on the board.
Both teams trying to get that first half basket.
Brittany Johnson sizes Franklin up, takes her into the lane. And Johnson comes out with a long rebound. And the finish.
Excellent move. Maddie Johnson doing a crossover and a pullback jumper. You don't see that very often in girls basketball.
Heidloff tried to catch her from behind, not able to do it.
Fenwick really has to set some screens here to come out of. Yeah, see, they're forcing their passes, they're forcing their shots, not setting screens.
Terry Rogers applauding the defensive effort there, forcing a Fenwick turnover.
Decision making is critical at this point.
Coach directing traffic, made it to state in softball back in the mid-90s. Second trip downstate as a girls basketball coach. Jaski, nope, and Cloak controls. Only 1 basket in 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the third quarter. And another steal by Johnson. New Trier a chance to extend the lead. Baseline to Naughton, fade away.
Now she came from the weak side, ran a cutter all the way through from the weak side and positioned herself down at the baseline.
13 points for Deirdre Naughton. Biggest lead of the game is 7 now. Maggie Cloak tries to answer and cannot. Naughton controls.
Fenwick really struggling offensively.
They just look out of sync.
Yes.
Not exactly the way you want to dribble the ball up the floor, but she stumbled her way to a bucket. Maddie Johnson.
As hard as it is to make a decision when to call a timeout, because of the timeout situation, this might be the time that Fenwick would choose to do that. They only have 3 timeouts, but they have 4 TV timeouts, so he might be waiting for that.
Nice
That was
move.
a big bucket for Fenwick, their first in the half.
Allison Jackson, and Naughton runs back the other way. Next dead ball, Coach Powers will get a timeout, immediate timeout. Each team has only 3 fulls to work with, as opposed to during during the regular year.
So you have to play with the clock, and then you have to play with the decision making on what would be best.
Franklin didn't want to pull the trigger down low.
Look at the passing, precise passing, finding the open player.
And Johnson strong to the basket.
Johnson making a bank shot off of the New Trier player.
See, that's where they're so
Definitely took a
strong.
roll,
You
yes.
bet. Actually, that's where they are so tough in transition. Rebound, push it. Half court, they don't look comfortable today. Jaski has it poked away from behind by Woods.
Some of the crowd wanting a 3-second call on Amy Jaski.
She was in there for a while.
She sure was.
And we do have our first time out of the second half. 3:44 left to go in the third. 5-point New Trier lead. More after this network timeout. River City, Peoria, Illinois is where the Illinois High School Association Television Network will land for the next couple of weeks. Boys Class A next weekend, and AA the weekend after that. Who will be doing the dance on the podium next Saturday night and 2 weeks from tonight? Can Peoria Central defend in their home city? March Madness continues. A and AA the next 2 weeks. 5-point lead for New Trier. Welcome back to Redbird Arena. Trevian fans obviously very happy. They're always happy when it comes to sports. Have you seen what this school has done the last 2 years? In 02 and 03, they won a girls golf state championship, a girls soccer state championship, finished 3rd in girls swimming. This school year alone, you ready for this? Boys golf state championship, girls golf state championship, boys swimming state championship, Elite 8 in volleyball. High school I went to has never won a single state championship in about 80 years.
And did you play?
No
there
comment.
You have it.
None. The jumper from the baseline is short. I mean, that's just the last year and a half.
That's awesome.
At this run here today, they're walking home with something. Heidloff still with only 1 basket. I never would have dreamed of Kristen Heidloff only having 1 basket through 2.5 quarters. Franklin. Jaski to Naughton. This is where she likes it.
Excellent decision on kicking the ball out when you're double teamed at the post.
And Maddie Johnson pokes it away from Jackson. Naughton controls. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third. New Trier seemingly in control. They only have a 5-point lead. Dykstra tried to go high-low. Powers saves it. Nicely to Peters. Work by Aaron Power. Devereaux Peters back in the ballgame. Not really a factor today with 3 fouls. This is where Fenwick has seemed so uncomfortable today, Bernie, in the half-court set.
And they're trying to run a flex offense right now to see if they can initiate some type of movement.
Maggie Cloak out of the offense, takes a shot and misses it. And Jackson throws it right to Maddie Johnson.
Such good defensive anticipation by New Trier.
This will stay with New Trier. A couple of subs coming in the ball game. New Trier will bring in Marissa Akeson, who had a 3 in the first half. And first appearance for Holly Harvey, a 5'3" freshman for Fenwick. Fenwick, of course, an incredible run here in the early 2000s. Their 4th appearance downstate in the last 5 years. Won it all in 01. Want to win it all here in 04. Survived New Trier, though. Jaski gets one to roll over the rim and in.
Great explosion. Great explosion by Brittany Johnson. Exploding from the half court, attacking the basket from the left side.
Brittany doing her best to keep her team in the game. Inside, Jaski blocked by Peters. Big block. And a steal by Johnson. And a power foul. Maddie Johnson. So much of what she has done will not show up in the newspaper tomorrow morning, but she's been the MVP today.
Absolutely. Just watch how she plays the basketball. She has her eyes on the pass. There's a block here, but you're going to see right now she's going to grab this pass right there. Takes it to the glass.
Maddie Johnson, 5'8" senior. You know, this has been the breakout weekend for the underclassmen. Nice to see a senior stepping up and doing well, an unsung senior.
I honestly feel that the seniors are making the difference in this game for both teams. Frustration on the part of Kristen Heidloff because she's trying to do a lot and almost not enough for the younger kids to get involved. And then the seniors from New Trier making great decisions defensively.
Jaski did a nice job of keeping it alive, tipping it to her teammate. Then Akeson tried to bounce it back to Amy and threw it off her knee and out of bounds. 6-point game. As we approach the 1-minute mark of this, the 3rd quarter of play. State semifinal number 1. And another steal, not in this time.
Great job having your hand and foot in the passing lane.
Maddie Johnson, some spiffy ball handling. Johnson will reset the offense. 5-second count is on. Gets it over to Samuelson. She likes the 3. Not this time. Jaski, look at the offensive rebound. No, and they're going to call her for going over the back.
I'm a little bit surprised about that, only because the ball is so high above the glass, but the official has such a good angle. Maybe he saw some type of contact. We didn't see it here.
New Trier last was down here in 2001, a 3rd place finish for Coach Terry Rogers. In that year, beat Stevenson, lost to Fenwick in the semifinals, if memory serves me correct.
Big foul. That was that her 3rd foul?
Jaski, I believe it was. Woods, nice
dish inside. And now would be the time to have your penetration offense and the score in the interior while she is sitting on the bench, while Jaski's on the bench.
See if New Trier holds for the final shot here in the 3rd quarter. Their lead is 4. Fenwick will get the ball to start the 4th quarter. Inside, Akeson misfires.
Here comes transition. They have 10 seconds to try and get a shot off, or they wear the clock.
Be a big momentum shifter here.
Great pass.
Good defense on the inside by Franklin. Jump ball between Dykstra and Johnson. Fenwick will get it with 3.2 seconds left.
Now you're in a position where you work in practice. You have 3 seconds left on the clock, the ball underneath your basket. Run an inbounds play. They practice this probably every day.
Try to get Heidloff for a 3 in the corner somewhere.
I think Heidloff would be my first option, especially because, she's their leading scorer. Or go back into Jackson.
And they're not going to get a shot off at all because Maddie Johnson steals it again. We have played 3. New Trier has beaten Fenwick twice already this year, trying to make it 3 in a row. 29-25 after 3. We'll return with more action from Redbird Arena after this local timeout.
at Redbird Arena, where New Trier is up by 4 at the start of the 4th quarter. I'm here with all the New Trier fans, and you guys, I see this shirt, the 6th man. Why is it not the 6th woman?
It's just our term, the 6th man, because we're all men. It doesn't matter. We love our team so much that we're all for the women.
All right. I also hear you guys think you're the #1 fans around town. What makes you different than other fans that makes you #1?
Because we will go anywhere, no matter where it is. We'll go to Fenwick, no matter how many people go with us. We'll go anywhere, it doesn't matter. We were down here, we came down for a 3-point shootout on Thursday. Left school a little early, but that's what we love.
And second of all, it's the nature of our cheering. We always say it's sportsmanship is contagious. It's something we caught a long time ago, and we never want the vaccination.
All right, Scott, well, there you have it. What do you think? You think they're the #1 fans? #1 fans.
They sure look like it. You know, it's interesting talking with Coach Rogers on Thursday during the shoot-around, and I said, you know, what is the key? Why does New Trier win so much? He says, well, we get a lot of great kids, but pride is the key. The community supports every aspect from academics to athletics, and they're behind him 100%. And it's a perfect example of that.
Well, did you hear what he said? What a neat thing. Sportsmanship is catchy. And they never want the vaccination.
That's a smart
meaning
kid.
that they want to be able to catch the sportsmanship.
That's right. Turnovers, relatively even. This game, relatively even. 29-25. New Trier on top. Check the foul situation. 4 against Fenwick up to this point. 1 against New Trier. So neither team close to the bonus. Bertie, if someone just walked in from another state and saw all your state semifinals after 3 quarters, it's only 29-25. It must not be a very high level of basketball. Just the opposite, though.
I think so. Totally irrelevant, the score. As soon as they watch the style of play within a matter of 30 seconds, you're going to realize that these are, you know, some of the best teams in the state of Illinois.
And some of the better teams in the country as well. Samuelson finds Naughton. Would have been a big 3. Harvey the rebound. Brittany Johnson feeds Woods. Left hand, not able to knock it down.
That's been their first opportunity for a transition look in a long time. They're going to need that to get back into the game.
Heidloff really wanted it. She's screaming for the ball on the left wing. Johnson didn't see her. Oh, and Naughton gets hit once, hit twice, gets back on her feet, and then is fouled.
Late whistle.
From the official behind the play. And Deirdre Naughton will shoot 2. Who's in better position to make a run here? Who's playing a certain style to make a run? Would it be New Trier?
It's very difficult to determine that at this point, only because I'm not so sure that really anyone has established what they need to in order to make a run.
Saw Naughton at 5 for 15. She shouldn't feel bad. The team is 11 for 40. That's 27%. Fenwick is 11 for 36. That's 31%.
I don't think a run will actually indicate what's going to happen at the end of the game. This is going to be close to the wire.
1 of 2 for Deirdre Naughton. 5-point game.
Kristen Heidloff really has to get into the game, and she takes the shot. I was just thinking to myself, Kristen, you have to start shooting because you are the motivational leader of this team.
Makes it a 3-point game. Got a screen in the top of the key. Now Franklin, she's denied on a penetration. Hard to deny this young lady, Deirdre Naughton. She'll make her way back to the free throw line. So good at getting to the basket.
Fenwick actually defending that time straight man-to-man. There's no help side.
The third foul on Samantha Woods.
The quickness that New Trier is showing on the floor with the basketball is amazing. They talked about, you know, yesterday how quick teams are defensively. I don't think people realize how good New Trier is with the basketball. They have such great penetration guards, and they're very, very hard to defend.
And they're interchangeable. Johnson,
yes.
Franklin, Naughton. They can all handle it, and all can take it to the basket. She missed them both. Couple of big misses. Heidloff wants to pull again. Now Cloak. Jaski the rebound. Good blackout on Woods.
Excellent position by Amy Jaski.
Amy Jaski is 6'4" and a freshman. Woods 6'3" and a freshman. They will have some battles over the next years, that's for sure.
straight man. We have to work through those screens a little bit better.
Franklin resets the offense. Now to Naughton. It's an opening.
That's intentional foul. I don't mean intentional, but it was smart on her part to foul her on her way to the basket because she wanted to make sure she didn't have a clear shot and clear drive to the basket.
Second foul on Brittany Johnson. Foul starting to mount now. 7 fouls against Fenwick. Only 1 called here against New Trier in the second half. Coach Power may look relaxed, but inside he can't be. And Naughton misses another one. She's missed 4 of her last 5 and 3 in a
Very
row.
uncharacteristic for her.
Heidloff will muscle up a
Yes,
shot.
that was a nice decision on her part. She was trying to decide, should I dish it off or should I just go to the glass? Again, Kristen Heidloff has to take charge.
Said she feels like a big sister to all these young kids. Well, Big Sis is doing it here in the third quarter.
All-stater, all-academic, first team All-State.
All-American kid. Jaski flashes, not able to finish. But she's had good looks. Johnson for the lead, blocked by Dykstra. New Trier girls do such a good job standing with their hands straight up in the air. It's hard to get a kid to do that.
Great offensive rotation here from the weak side. She did travel.
Frustration setting in on the part of Amy Jaski. 4:26 left to play in the game, 30-29 New Trier. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And Chevrolet. Stop by and see your local Chicago, Northwest Indiana, or Central Illinois Chevy dealer today. Fenwick fans waiting for Kristen Heidloff to get hot. She's getting hot here in the second half.
Look at the determination on her face. You could just actually see as she's penetrating going to the glass. But the big one that you just saw, I think, was critical because she leaned through the glass. She's the floor leader, Division I athlete, going to Georgetown. She's the type of player that you want on the floor in the fourth quarter with the final 4 minutes to take you into the finals.
She told me we have unfinished business. Well, she's trying to seal the deal herself, get her team back to a state championship game, and she has it right now. Chance for the lead. And Jaski got a little bit of a finger on that to deflect it. You don't mind that if you coach Power at all. Give it to your leader. Let her go.
Well, if Fenwick could feel the double team, then maybe they can make a decision to kick the ball out or release it.
There's Maddie Johnson.
Maddie Johnson going through 3 defenders.
She averages 8 a game. Maddie Johnson today is doing it all. Misfiring, and Jaski another rebound. And then a big pileup in the corner, and Jaski comes away with it. 8 points for Johnson, who has the ball. She wants more. Nice pass. Dish. And Dykstra had it partially blocked from behind, and Polk maybe got a piece of it. Fenwick leading the battle inside. But New Trier winning 32-29.
Fenwick trying to position themselves to get a good look at the basket.
Allison Jackson.
We're going to have some offensive rotation, offensive change of direction instead of just standing waiting for something to happen. They have to create it.
Both
they
teams,
have to move.
Yeah, trying to catch their breath a little bit here. Woods. Dykstra thought it was clean. The official says no, and Samantha Woods will shoot 2.
Take a look at Catherine Dykstra. She's going to get herself in a great position to try and block the shot. You may decide. Ball goes up. She looks surprised.
Yes, she did look very surprised. Her second foul, first free throw good. This to make it a 1-point game. Nope. Rebound to Maddie Johnson. Just under 3 minutes to go. Who will play for the state championship tonight? A whistle and a push on Dykstra away from the ball.
This is going to be a momentum issue now. And you can see Coach talking to one of the other officials. They've been fighting for position inside the entire game. That's what she's saying. Let them play. Let them play. or give them the warning. But that's from a coaching perspective.
The fouls were 7-1. They are now 7-3. Heidloff to Brittany Johnson.
Heidloff trying to free herself. Again, offensive rotation.
Johnson will guard Heidloff.
She wants to take the shot. Reverse the ball and run a swing all the way through.
Cloak, nope. Not a contact that time, no call. Naughton, a run out.
Excellent, excellent. Deidre Naughton making the decision to just take the ball to the glass herself. I wondered if she was going to pass it off or not.
Fenwick wants to talk things over. Naughton, a big game, a real big game with 14 points. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Apt Electronics and Appliances. For the largest selection of electronics and appliances at the best possible price, visit Apt in Glenview. Fast break points have been hard to come by today, but New Trier gets a couple here.
You're going to see an excellent outlet pass. I wondered if she was going to pass it, but she decided to take the ball to the glass, which was a smart move on her part. Long strides extending up to the glass. You try and explain to the girls or teach the girls how every dribble needs to take you somewhere on the floor. New Trier is very good at that. 8
fast break points for the Trevians, only 4 for the Friars.
Big possession here for the Friars, down by 4.
At the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter. 4 points separate these two heavyweights. Dykstra a block. Jackson tries, nope. And the rebound to Naughton, and she's fouled. Well, it's interesting. They apparently were going to tighten things up officiating-wise, Bernie, but they are letting them play once again. They called a couple of ticky-tack fouls, but now they're letting them get after it.
Well, again, you know, you want to always be in a position to let the kids play. But when a player in that situation, she was double and triple teamed, someone's going to be hacking.
Well, if New Trier is able to make its free throws, this lead will be much bigger than 4. And another miss by Naughton. Dykstra, nope, Woods controls.
Big board here. They're going to have
Naughton now 4 of 10 from the free throw line.
They're going to deny the ball to Kristen Heidloff. They do not want her to have the ball. Kristen's going to have to do a little bit more to get open.
She's got it top of the key. Johnson on her. And Dykstra cleans it up. Maddie Johnson has been all over Heidloff.
Trying to foul and not getting the call. That's frustrating. They're trying to foul. There's a minute left.
4-point game with 1 minute to play.
Trying to foul.
And New Trier wants to burn some clock.
She just pushed her and still no foul.
There's a foul on Brittany Johnson. That was the 9th team foul.
And it was, you know, a 35-34 game. Again, defense was the big difference. I think decision-making on Fenwick's part has not been, you know, the best, but you have to credit New Trier for their ability to throw a tough defense at them. That was a big free throw. They haven't made free throws in the last few minutes.
First attempt by Franklin today. The team is now 9 for 19 from the line. And they still have a 5-point lead.
The Friars can shoot some threes, though. They have to get down and have a quick bucket, call a timeout. There's 1-3. T.O., T.O., T.O. There you go, baby.
Kristen
3 and T.O. I love that. I love that.
Cuts the lead in half. That was a bomb.
Yeah. And she has the ability to do that. She just has such great leadership skills. It was a nice shot. She didn't fade away. Put it in as soon as it went through the net. Coach is yelling, timeout, timeout, timeout.
And Johnson's in a case defensively where she's at the mercy of anything Heidloff wants to do. She's playing for the drive, pull up. She goes, there's no way.
And I'm sure right now what Carrie Rogers is saying to her group, do not leave that young lady open. She's the senior on the floor. She's the leading scorer. She's taken them to where they are right now in the fourth quarter. So make sure we deny her the basketball.
Let's check in with Coach Powers and see what he's telling his girls.
Kristen, close it off.
Let's go. Hey.
Looks like they're going to run a screen for Kristen Hyloff to get a three at the top of the key. That was a three of 4 feet beyond the arc.
They have to defend first right now. They have to defend. They have to get a turnover. This is the one time their defense is going to make a difference in a ball game. It's brought them to where they're at, but right now they're going to have some serious defense.
As you see, the next foul on Fenwick will result in 2 New Trier free throws.
Samantha Wood just floating here, but they have to get this ball. Smart.
There's a foul. Celia Franklin will walk down, and you saw the game reset a moment ago. 9, now it's 10 fouls on Fenwick. So every foul the rest of the way will be 2 free throws. Takes so much pressure off the free throw shooter.
You think?
Yeah, it does.
I think they want to make them both, though. I think it puts more pressure
Sure, they
on
want
them
to make
because
them both.
I know that they want to take 2.
Look at those field goal percentages. Free throw was good. I just, you know, that first one, there's so much pressure if it's a one-on-one on that first one to get to the second one. You know, if you don't have to make that first one to get the second one. Franklin knocked them both down.
Big free throw shot.
4 for her last 4.
Look at the defense right now. They don't want to let her get a shot off.
5-point game. Power, air ball, rebound, Maddie Johnson. And she's fouled by Jackson. 28 seconds left. New Trier in position.
These are big free throws right now because Maddie knows if she makes both of these.
Look, Coach Power, I think he said that's not the play we wanted to run, guys.
No, but it's difficult because they're going up against such great defense at this point in time. We see it. We're 5 feet off the floor. These kids are relentless on defense. New Trier seems to have all the qualities that are needed to make it to the championship game.
3-point shooter Holly Harvey into the ball game, replacing Aaron Power. Going to have to get a 3 and going to have to get it quick. Both of them missed. Rebound to Harvey.
You don't want to spend too much time dribbling.
And almost a steal, but Jackson comes up with it. Heidloff almost went over the backboard. Brittany Johnson, too hard. And Maddie Johnson, another rebound and a foul with 9 seconds left. And it's fitting that Maddie Johnson comes up with that big rebound. She has been everywhere.
She's been a ton. She only averages 8 points a game, which, you know, that's a great stat, but the one that really sticks out would be her rebounds.
She has 9 rebounds in this game today. 4 assists, Maddie Johnson. I know Naughton has 16 points. Maddie Johnson has been so very impressive. And there's the 5th foul on Brittany Johnson. 6 points on the day for the 5A junior. Coach Power taking his time, finding a replacement for her. And some last-second words of advice from Coach Rogers.
For New Trier, Maddie Johnson shooting 2.
Maddie Johnson, 2 for 6 from the free throw line today, 3 for 4 from the field, as you see there. This gets awfully quiet. The Fenwick fans aren't even making noise now.
Well, I think they realize that it's time to prepare for the 3rd place championship trophy. It's very difficult. This would, you know, if she makes this shot, this will be a 3 possession.
12 for 25 from the line for New Trier. How did they win this game? 12 for 26. Still haven't won it. Heidloff on a foul in the backcourt, and that's a really good foul.
Intentional.
An intentional foul. That is not a good foul. I said it was good, Bernie, because they had something to burn here. There's only 3 team fouls. They get 2 shots and the ball.
And in his defense, he possibly saw something that we did not.
Well, she did grab her shirt.
If you grab the shirt or give a push or a shove, that is an intentional foul. You have to always go for the ball. intentional doesn't always mean that you're going to hurt him.
If she makes this, they get the ball, a 3, sends it to overtime.
Yes.
Wow.
And they'll have the ball out of this possession. Look at that. That's a senior leader right there. Now, yes, somebody needs to call a timeout. And you wonder, do you want a timeout because of allowing them? New Trier called the timeout, which allows them to set up a play now. But New Trier is going to talk about how important it is to defend this. Because once it's defended, even if they score a 3-point shot, they don't even have to inbound it. Just let them inbound, just let them, score the 3-point shot. Now, they will probably call timeout once there's a score. So you want to make sure that if you get in a situation where it's a catch and shoot, do not foul them. Just let them put up a shot.
Well, let's take a listen to Terry Rogers to see what she's telling her girls. Bernie, let's explain real quick what happened there. They only had 3 team fouls. They had fouls to burn, so they figured they would just foul and burn some clock.
Correct, and like, the teammates were telling her, don't worry about it, get over it, it's okay, it's okay. And what actually happened was, she did grab her shirt and yanked her back. That's an intentional foul.
Right.
The ball was nowhere in sight, it was in front of her.
It was a good idea. You had some fouls to give, but like you said, you can't grab. A 3-pointer will send the game into overtime.
Now, this is a big difference, getting the ball at half court compared to getting the ball underneath your own basket. This is very difficult to do, to be able to inbound the ball. Now, they're discussing whether or not they can put in a substitution at this point.
Well, Coach Power's going to take a timeout.
They wanted to put Aaron Power. Now, see, I'm not so sure you want to do that because you only have 1 left. But this might make a big difference for him in terms of who inbounds the ball, who we give the ball to, those types of things, because this possession is critical.
Oh, we knew this game was going to come down to the final possession, and it has. New Trier with that 3-point lead.
Now here's the thing. If Fenwick scores, they can't call a timeout.
Fenwick out of timeouts. New Trier has 1, and the all-important possession arrow points toward Fenwick.
And I'm not so sure if they're aware of that or what the decision-making was on that, but
coming up after this ball game, not that we want it to end, this has been fantastic. The Country Insurance 3-point shootout. And that's followed by Naperville Central and All-American Candace Parker against Marion Catholic. Big win last night over Grayslake. That's all coming up next here on the IHSA Television Network. Kristen Heidloff, will she have a chance to send this game into overtime? She has 1 3 in this game today.
If Fenwick scores here, they don't even have to inbound the ball.
Need a 3. Power to Heidloff. Misfires, and that's it. The game is over. New Trier has beaten Fenwick for a 3rd time. Trevians celebrate. The fans celebrate. One of the most incredible athletic programs in the state will play for yet another championship tonight.
Their opponent yet to be determined.
They've already won a boys golf championship this year, a girls golf state championship, a boys swimming state championship, and now they go for a girls basketball state championship tonight. What a ball game. Heidloff got a pretty decent look. Her defender fell down.
Yeah, and the coaching staff really wanted to foul, but
Allison standing by with Deirdre Naughton. Allison.
That's right, I've got the player of the game right here. You were the leading scorer of your team tonight with 14 points. You were also leading scorer when your team scored 70 points the first time, 50 points. What was with such a low scoring with only 38 points tonight? What do you think?
Well, I think that the defense was the key to this game, stopping Heideloff and the 3-point shooters. And our senior leadership was basically the key of the game. So.
Good. What are you going to do to prepare for the game tonight?
We're going to watch a lot of film, and we're going to go out there and play tough and play New Trier basketball, and we'll see what happens.
All right, who would you rather see, Marion or Naperville Central?
Naperville Central. We want revenge against them from the Dundee Crown tournament, so we want to see them. But either team, so it doesn't matter.
All right, well, congratulations, and we'll see you later tonight. All right, Lee, we'll see what you got to say.
All right, thanks a lot. We're with Terry Rogers. That call made it a little interesting there in the last few seconds, didn't it?
Yeah, well, we actually we lost a game for not fouling when we had some fouls to give and earlier in the season. So we wanted to try to foul him to slow him down a little bit, and that was a tough call. But you know, what can you say? You know, kids held tough. They played great defense down there. They played great defense the whole game, and I thought that was the key to the game. We did a great job on Kristen. I mean, she's really their X factor. She makes them go, and I thought Maddie Johnson did an outstanding job on her. And you know, just the overall defense, we did a much better job in the second half of boxing out, and we're going to the championship game. It's pretty exciting.
When you see a team so often, it's probably not unusual to have kind of a quote-unquote ugly defensive game like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, both teams know each other so well, and both teams are, you know, it's two really good teams, and Dave's a great coach, and you know, you knew he was going to have his kids ready, and we knew it was just going to be a battle, and you know, that's what it was. So it was a great game.
Congratulations, playing for a state title tonight.
Thanks. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I bet. All right, back to you, Scott.
All right, Lee, thank you. Pretty exciting. The apt play of the game, pretty exciting as well. Deirdre Naughton, 2 of her 16 points is our Apt Electronics play of the game. New Trier on to the state final. We'll return with more from Bloomington Normal after this local timeout.